Okay, let's move to chapter 5. We're still on the first speech of Eliphaz. He speaks 3 times. I want to look at a few things that show us his understanding of the character of God. And in these particular points, I think most of them he's correct, right? In chapter 5, verse 9, he says, God does great and unsearchable things, marvelous things without number. Right or wrong?
Right.
Right. In verse 10, he gives rain on the earth and sends water to the fields. Right or wrong? Right. Verse 11, he sets the lowly on high, that those who mourn are raised to safety. In general? Right. Verse 12, he causes the evildoers to stumble. Is that right or wrong? That Proverbs says the same thing. Here's the problem. He does not always cause the evildoers to stumble. It's a general rule, it's a general principle. But you cannot take that general principle and say it applies in every circumstance, right? Verse 15, God rescues good people from evil people. That's it, literally, he saves from the sword that comes from their mouth, even the poor from the hand of the powerful. So is that a general principle?
There's a temporal element to it, I think, as well.
Yeah, meaning?
Doesn't happen always immediately or in the time frame that we expect or want.
Okay, this is a great point. Always keep in mind, what's the time frame? When God says, I will deliver you, it's like, well, if you take eternity into effect, it's good. If you take the next 5 minutes into effect, maybe not. Yeah. And but the general principle is, yes, God does deliver good people from evil people, right? The next one's pretty fun in verse 17. Blessed is the man whom God corrects, so do not despise the discipline of the Almighty. That sounds like something in the New Testament. Hebrews chapter 12, same subject. If you're being corrected, say thank you. Yeah. And then verse 18, he wounds, but he also bandages. He strikes, but his hands also heal. This theme is repeated among several of the prophets. So yes, God causes pains, and God binds the wounds that he caused.
So basically, in the Bible, we differentiate between seeing suffer, being tested suffer, or being corrected in a way that you kind of suffer. So basically, we might assume that the people know that those things happen, or do I mean in the job book that being tested is also something that might bring you suffering?
Yes. Being tested by God can definitely be accompanied by suffering.
Okay, and the thing is that in that book, because Job being the blameless person in the eyes also of God, when he starts complaining, does he understand in a sense that it might be a test or not? Because I have the feeling that here
he does not. He is Job also has a bit of a simplistic view until God corrects it. His simplistic view is God made a mistake. Okay, it's actually the same as the friends. The sinner suffers. Well, that's not true. He sees a lot of exceptions to that rule. That's what he keeps telling the friends. Folks, that doesn't always apply, okay? But he's convinced, in a simple sense, God simply made a mistake. He got the wrong guy. Yes. That's Job's feeling. Okay? We will get to that later. That comes up later.
Basically, Job understands that he is living according to law.
Yes, Job holds fast to his righteousness. Okay? He goes, I have not done anything. I am innocent. Well, this is definitely his thinking, right? A few more things from Eliphaz. There are situations where God will rescue the righteous: famine, battle, assault, curse, starvation, wild animals. Yes, he does. There are ways that God can bless: peaceful home, abundant seed, abundant children, you die healthy. So, you know, the chapter 4 was Eliphaz with his demonic vision. So there, he was like not being discerning. But chapter 5 shows actually all these things he's spouting forth are generally correct. So I just want to show you the difficulty with the friends. When you're looking at their speeches, you cannot say, if Eliphaz talks, it's dumb. No. It's with Job, it's the same problem. The longer Job talks, the more he goes downhill. The beginning of his speeches are always more correct than the end of his speeches.